Hey, welcome to our channel, JOSHDEPPLAYS. We're gonna do an unboxing of the Gravediggers core expansion. So let's take a look here. A little bit of a light there shining off the box, but so here it just gives you a brief description of what the Gravediggers are. You got a listing of all the models that are included, including Grant Vargas, which is also a model included in the mini factory. And you have the different units that are available inside. Very cool artwork on the box itself. Just see what's inside. It's usually subdivided into the small little boxes if you have bought an expansion or any of the army packs. They're pretty organized. They have their individual bubble wraps. Let's see what the first unit we have in here. Okay, so these are the Gravedigger Rangers. So there's two groups, A and B. I'm actually not sure which one is A and B, but they're basically two copies of the same unit. From my understanding, you're probably gonna try to run two sets of these guys. Loving the detail and the aesthetic that they have kept up with the Gravedigger models in general. And the prints look really clean. Very little cleanup work from what I can tell. Definitely this batch of models that I've received, especially from the other Gravedigger boxes, have been super clean. I'm really pleased with how they have come out so far. Just organizing here just to make some room for the rest of the stuff, because there is a lot of models in this box set. Okay, we got 5 guys here. Let's see what's the next group here. Okay, so this is the second unit of Gravedigger Rangers. So here are both groups, A and B. It's interesting that that gun has like a, yeah, it's almost like reverse. Some of the other guys have that too, so there's a bit of variation with the weapons, which I like. I find that interesting. Just being a little meticulous here, trying to make sure I don't have a mess while I'm organizing the models. But yeah, both of the well, they're basically the same unit, just different variations of their looks and stuff. But they're a Jack Marshall unit, so I'm probably gonna end up running both. They do have the solos and all that also are Jack Marshalls, but we'll see how that goes. I have to do more playtesting. So this is Vargas. He's the Warcaster with the giant gun. Trying to see how I fit this. Once I have more time with it, I'll figure it out, I guess. But he's really cool. He's actually bigger than I thought. Yeah, he has a tactical rock, but honestly, that doesn't bother me, personally. At some point, I'm gonna get the 3D printed version of his mini crate. Sorry, the mini factory version, and I'll just make it a little different. But I'm digging his original model so far. Really cool. I also like his rules, honestly. Just he could bring the DACA. Got the next group here. So this is the first jack. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit of cleanup that has to be done, but very little. But he looks pretty legit, honestly. You got the second warjack with the lance and the shield, which is part of the heavy airdrop light jacks. So one guy's called blocker, the other guy is called skirmisher. Lining up the models here a little bit so you can see as I finagle the boxes. It's a pretty big box set. There's quite a bit of models here. This and combined with the original set, you can definitely have 100 points pretty easily. At some point, we're gonna have the Jake's expansion set. That's coming later. This is the solo. I believe he's also a Jack Marshall, if I'm not mistaken. And that would be a Lieutenant Stella Baron. Pretty cool. Also, quote unquote, tactical rock, but she looks cool. I dig her pose. That's the other thing. I like a lot of the poses. They're not very static. They're all pretty dynamic for the most part. Some of them, they're holding the weapon, and especially the Rangers. But I dig. You can still see the Gravedigger aesthetic in every choice that they made in the models. So we got the Trollkin Express Sniper. It's more of a shotgun. That thing is humongous. But he reminds me of the other guy that came from the original, the first box set. I'm just gonna compare the two in a second. So he's the command detachment. Interesting. Okay. Am I getting him confused? Oh yeah. So yeah, see he's definitely the Trollkin Express Sniper. Interesting. Here's a light airdrop, the mantlet. It's pretty cool. It could also be provided via airdrop, or I like to call combat drop, which is still wrapping my head over the whole thing, which is pretty cool, honestly. I dig any method of bringing some different type of gameplay to Warmachine, and the type of gameplay that makes sense. So like I would say, okay, so these guys, yeah, these guys are part of the heavy Warmachine crew. It's interesting. They're a solo. It's a solo, but there's like 2 dudes on it, which is, you know, not uncommon. We've seen this before. But they have a cool little setup here. Got a guy feeding the ammo from the magazines, and then we have the actual gunner itself, who's controlling the weapon. Very World War II-esque. Picture that dude in them in a trench of some kind. Probably want 2 of them. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure at some point they're going to be individualized. I know some people that are getting 2 of these boxes, which is not entirely a bad idea, even though some things might be over FA. Actually, I will have to take a second look at that. The Rangers, probably FA3. And then we got the gun mages, but the Gravedigger variant. They're very cool. We're waiting for these guys. I've been using the Kane Black 13th unit, and I was curious to see how it plays out. I have both sets of units or just have these guys, you know, it depends. Black 13th are insane, to say the least. But overall, this is the Cgynar Gravedigger Core expansion box. Very cool. Digging the models, digging the jacks. Units are great. And we'll see how it goes. Thank you for standing by and watching this unboxing. Please, if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe. We're going to continue trying to bring content ahead. I also recently dropped a lore video. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. Until next time, guys, have fun.